Hello, and thanks again for joining me on the Patient Attraction Podcast. I'm Colin Receveur, founder and CEO of SmartBox Web Marketing. Yesterday's podcast talked about how to write for readers who scan as they read. But do you expect to write all of that copy yourself? I hope not. Come back and I'll give you tips on hiring freelance writers. Today is Tuesday, September 9th, and about a month ago, I told you to be careful with companies that offer to set up your website, content and all. That's because they may use a template that includes the same wording as dozens or even hundreds of other dentists. That will not get you noticed by the search engines. So how do you get unique and informative content onto your web pages? I want to urge you not to plan to write all of the content yourself. It's not a good use of your time, no matter how good of a writer or how much time you have. Building your website is kind of like building a house. You can do it yourself with whatever skill you have or can gain, but it's a risky proposition, especially if you don't know what you're doing. At the opposite end, you could hire a project manager. This is a point man who hires and manages the various subcontractors, leaving you to only make the highest level decisions. Or you could act as the project manager and hire individual contractors to build out the various elements. We see a lot of problems on two fronts from dentists that have done this approach. First off is you have to have the knowledge to know the good from the bad contractors. And two, you have to have the time to take away from the rest of your life to coordinate. If you decide to go with the last option and hire contractors yourself, I want to make sure that you have the knowledge on hiring good freelance writers. The most important knowledge I can give you is to be careful. Everybody who's ever gotten an A in college English thinks he or she is a good writer. Before I brought our writing in-house and hired our writing team that's grown substantially over the last couple years, I wrote a lot of the copy myself and supplemented it with the work of freelancers. Be careful about hiring freelancers who charge for cents per word. If you decide to go this route, you better hire 4 or 5 to do the same job. Because what you'll have is 1 or 2 will flake on you, you'll never hear from them again. Another 1 or 2 will just deliver garbage for work, and you'll probably get something usable from the last 1 or maybe 2. My suggestion is to look for an individual who has experience in content and marketing writing. If you can find with good experience in the dental industry, that's even a bigger plus. If you can find a writer you like, negotiate a good deal based on the volume of content you want to produce, you could be set. Agree to a set number of revisions, as you'll likely want a lot of changes from the first version or the second version you see. And never put the money in their pocket up front unless it's a reputable company that you know is not a fly-by-night operation or a one-man show. Finally, take a strong thought and reconsider your course of action. You might be able to save a little bit of money by contracting it yourself, just as building a house. If you act as your own contractor, you may save a little bit of money, but you're going to be spending your time, and the people you work with know that there's a finite amount of work that you're going to send them, and they're going to charge you a higher price as a result. How much of your time and money will you waste trying to find the right people to do the job, or on hiring the wrong people? Find a company, whether it's us or someone else, that will manage it all for you. Tomorrow, I want to look at what you can do to influence people in your community to gain more visibility. Until then, keep it moving forward.